Hello again everyone from Tokyo, Japan, and welcome back to Two Wheels in Tokyo. Today I'm going to be doing yet another review of yet another bicycle which I recently put together. I have a couple of reasons for making this video. First, the kind of bicycle. This kind of bicycle I think is underrepresented on YouTube. This is a touring or randonneur bicycle, and while there are zillions of bike videos on YouTube, there aren't many videos about this kind of bicycle. And I thought this would be a good chance to let people know exactly what one of these bikes is and what it's intended to be used for. And the second thing is the brand of this bicycle. This is a Nishiki bicycle. And I think also that Nishiki is underrepresented on YouTube. There are a few Nishiki videos here, but not so many, which I think is kind of a shame, because Nishiki was one of the well-known brands of the 1970s and 1980s of very well-made Japanese bikes, which were sold all over the North American and European markets. So, as I said, this is a touring bicycle, randonneur bicycle. In Japan, they are called a randonna. It's kind of the katakana expression of randonneur, or they're simply known as a camping bike. And basically what a touring or randonneur bike is a road bike, superficially, but with a longer wheelbase and more tire clearance, a wider gear range, as well as mounting points for racks and other accessories to allow you to carry luggage. And in Japan, they use the term camping bike because bike packing was a thing here in Japan, seemingly quite a long time before it became a big thing in other parts of the world. And some of the bikes here from the 70s and 80s, they're pretty ludicrous with the amount of stuff which they have on them. The rack and carrying systems, suitable for taking a bike packing trip around the world. This one here is pretty typical of a touring bicycle. Basically, overall, this is exactly what one will look like if you come across one. Usually they'll have racks attached to them. I don't have racks put on this one yet. At the moment, I'm just using this bicycle to ride around town. I've only recently gotten it put together. If you're looking for a durable bike or something you would like to convert to a gravel bike, there are lots of these old randonneur or touring bike frames out there. As I said, they have more tire clearance than road bikes of this era, and also, as I said, they usually come with a wider range of gears, and they have drop bars on them, so they're perfectly suitable for cyclocross or gravel riding. The Nishiki brand. Nishiki is kind of an interesting word in Japanese. The most direct translation would be Nishi, west, and Ki, tree, or west tree. But it's also a word used to describe a kind of mushroom, and also for certain kinds of art and textiles and stuff here in Japan. I'm not sure why they chose that name. The Nishiki brand was made by the Kawamura company, and you can see the decal here, designed by Kawamura. Kawamura is a very old company in Japan, and they began making bicycles back in 1915. And back in those days, through most of the 20th century, they sold bikes under their own name. But I guess they thought that Kawamura might not be a great name to use for bicycles which were exported to other countries. So they used the name Nishiki. And I'm not really sure why. I don't think the Nishiki maybe it's a little bit easier to spell or sounds more interesting or whatever. But they made lots and lots of these bicycles in the 70s and 80s and into the early 90s. And then Kawamura felt that the bicycle industry was getting too competitive and too hard to make money in, so they got out of it. And they devoted all their resources to manufacturing wheelchairs and equipment for the disabled. And they are still in business today manufacturing these things. And if you see someone in a wheelchair here in Japan, or you see wheelchairs in the hospital, the odds are pretty good they were made by the Kawamura company. Now, Nishiki made a large variety of bikes in the 70s and 80s and early 90s, mostly road bikes and quite a few mountain bikes, as well as some touring bikes. Now, all these bicycles were made to a rather high standard of quality. Nishiki didn't produce junk. They didn't produce the kind of stuff that you would find in department stores or things like that. These were very well made and very well equipped bicycles. And that's one of the reasons why they have something of a cult following today. These bicycles were well enough made that many of them still survive to the present day. And unfortunately, not enough. I really like the Nishiki brand because I had a couple of these when I was growing up. I had a road bike which I didn't have for long because it was too small for me. I traded some stuff for it and I kind of liked it, but I was too big for it. And after I got rid of it, my mom bought me another one. She bought me a bigger size Nishiki bicycle, kind of similar in color to this one, but not quite as nice. And I really loved that bike, and I used it to explore Southern California. These were the days before I was old enough to drive. When I started driving, I pretty much forgot cycling for a while. But in those days, in my early teens, I rode all over Orange County, all the way down to San Diego on my Nishiki bicycle. And when I saw this come up for sale a few months ago, I decided I would go ahead and buy it just to have a Nishiki again. Now, I didn't buy the complete bicycle. I just bought the frame and the fork. All of the other components on this bicycle I bought separately, and I've put onto it as I've acquired them. And finally the bicycle is complete, and I've been riding it around this week. The last thing I was waiting for was the pedals. I put on a set of cheap Amazon pedals. They're good enough to get me around right now. Now, this particular Nishiki is different from most of the ones which you will ever see. You can probably see this very large decal on the side here which says Pro. Now, Nishiki made a Pro line of bicycles, and 99% of these were road race bicycles. And these were handmade bikes, and in Japan they were custom made bikes, made to order, and extremely well made and fitted with the highest quality components, and quite expensive. This one is a Pro touring bike, and I've only seen two examples of the Pro touring bike. This one here, and another one which was listed for sale online some years ago, which someone else bought. And I didn't buy this bicycle because it was rare. I bought it just because it was a Nishiki bicycle, and it looked good, and it was more or less in my size. But I was quite happy when I learned about the pro level Nishikis and the story behind them. Now, this bicycle was made in 1980, and this was a custom order bike, which meant someone went to a Nishiki dealer and chose this from a catalog and had it made to their size. And they chose different options to put on the bicycle. Now, you can see that this is extremely high quality bike. It has beautiful cutout lugs on it, as well as the wraparound seat stays and the internal cable routing. And they also added braze-on for the pump, and a couple of braze-ons down here. There are a couple of tabs down here, and what that is for is there's a strap which stretches across, and that acts as a protector for the chainstay to prevent the chain from hitting it. And other things which come on these bikes are, a variety of different mounting points for the racks and other stuff. This one didn't have a lot of that kind of stuff on it. It has just enough to put on the basic stuff you need for touring. And I love the quality of the paint. This is the original paint on this bike from 1980. It's, of course, not super nice due to its age, but it's good enough. Unless you look at it really closely, the paint on the bicycle still looks quite good. Now, when it came to putting this bicycle together, I was wondering what kind of components to use, and as I live in Japan, there are lots and lots of options available here. I was wondering if I should go with like the TA Simplex setup or Campagnolo or whatever, but I figured this is a 1980 Japanese bicycle, so I tried to find Japanese parts made from around that time period. And so I ended up settling on the Shimano 600 Arabesque driveline. And this is it here. The Shimano 600 is, of course, the mid-range driveline, which was made for a number of years from the up and through the 70s and 80s. The Arabesque features, as you can see, this kind of nice engraving treatment to it to make it look flashier. And that extends also to the crankset here and to the front derailleur, and also the shift levers are engraved as well. And I thought that this design would look good on this bicycle, so I bought these components. And I bought the chain, the gold colored chain. I also ordered a Regina Oro cassette for the back, which is also gold colored, but that hasn't arrived yet. It's been taking a really long time to get here. I'll put that in when I receive it. The seat post here, I found a new Sugino seat post. This is a 26.8, which is kind of a funny size, but it looks good on the bike. And of course I have a Brooks B17 saddle. I use a B17 on all of my bicycles. I won't use any other kind of saddle than that. I just love how comfortable it is. And I bought vintage Nito stem and a Nito bar, which I think looks good on this bike. And for brakes, these touring bikes come with cantilever brakes. It has these two levers on either side with lots of clearance for larger tires or for mud or things like that. That's why they were the first brakes which were used on mountain bikes. These are the Grand Comp brakes, which are kind of the higher end brakes made by Diacomp. Their highest level is called Royal Grand Comp, but they didn't make those in cantilever, so this was the best which they made with cantilever brakes. I like these compared to other versions. I find that the Grand Comps are smoother and have better modulation than the Shimano brakes. And the Mayfac brakes, the European ones, I've had nothing but bad luck with those. They're always noisy. I can never get them to work right. So I decided I would definitely not run the European brakes on this bike. The wheels and tires and hubs, the hubs are Dura-Ace from back in the day. The wheels are Araya 26 by 1 3/8, which is known as 650A, which is kind of an odd size. It's very common here in Japan. This was the old French size, which used to be popular on the older French bikes and on English 3-speeds. You don't see them much anymore in North America or Europe, but here in Japan, they're still the most common size, which is put on shopping bicycles and things like that. So quite easy to find tires and tubes and things like that here. The fenders, I should mention that the fenders also came with this bike. These are the original fenders which came on it. These are what are known as Rinko fenders. The rear one is removable. There's a wing nut here. You can remove that and loosen the Allen bolts here and remove the back half of the fender, which allows you to easily put this bicycle in a travel bag. Now, if you're in Japan and you want to carry your bicycle on a train here, it has to be in a bag. There are a couple of trains recently which now accept complete bicycles that you can just roll on, but 90% of trains don't allow that. So if you want to carry your bike on a train, you have to put it on a bag. And these bikes here made in Japan were designed to be easily disassembled and put into a bag. So the fender comes off the back, you take off the front wheel, and I put on these rollers here, quick release rollers. So the rollers work better than the original arch systems or crescent systems for releasing the brakes. They give you better brake action and it's smoother. And also by flipping that up, that opens the brakes, which allows you to easily remove the front wheel and rear wheel for puncture repairs or putting in a bag. I was able to find these new old stock rubber grips for the brake levers. The original lamp on the front is missing. Someone put it on this one here. I'm not exactly sure what the original was, since this was a custom order bike. There are no catalog pictures of what this bike would originally have. So whatever the owner ordered for it was what came on it. Now the bike, another feature this bike has is internal wire routing for the front and rear lights. And the wires run back to the dynamo here. And I have to run the wire from here down to the bottom bracket. That's where the wire starts and runs to the through the frame up to the front headlight. And there's a very simple system to activate the dynamo. You simply push down on the lever and it starts rubbing against the tire, and as you ride it provides electrical current to power the front and rear lights. And to release it you have to just pull it that way. Works quite well, it's very effective. And I had something like this on the bike when I was a kid, and it doesn't give you a lot of light, it gives you enough. And basically for lights here, it's not so much that I need the lights to see where I'm going, but so cars see me. So that's the important point. I don't want to be hit by a car at night because they can't see me alongside the road. But anyway, that's it for this video. It's quite a long video, 15 minutes. I probably could talk for hours about Nishiki bicycles, but hopefully in this video you learned a little bit about touring or randonneur bicycles, maybe a little bit more about Nishiki. And if you happen to come across a Nishiki bicycle, I highly recommend these. As I said, they are very good quality bicycles with good quality components, and if you're lucky enough to find a Nishiki Pro, that's a really special machine. Anyway, I plan to be making more videos. I want to take this out on a few trips here before the weather gets any colder than it is, and if I do, I'll make some videos of that and put them here on the channel. If you'd like to see these, please subscribe. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you tune in again soon.